Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My husband and I have both seen signs when Torrance, that's our son, was a little boy. He used to play with his sister's dolly, Barbies, little girls' toys. But he never tried to play with his G.I. Joe toys that his father bought for him. My husband thought that getting him involved in sports would break him out of the habit. Torrance, my son, he did very, very poor in sports. But my husband thought that if he was around other boys, he would toughen up. But I could see in his eyes that he hated playing football. He tried so hard to impress us, but when I looked at him, I knew something was very different about my little boy. When he was 15, we sent him to a church that they said it could cure him. That's what they said. Cure him out of his sexual tendencies. They treated him homosexually like it was a disease. Torrance would write to me daily about how much he hated it and how he felt like he was being punished for something that he had no control over. As a mother, I was torn inside because I felt like we were punishing him for something that he didn't even do. I remember walking in his room and catching masturbating to gay porn magazines. I couldn't even bring myself to tell my husband about it. My husband tried so hard to make him into a man. It would have crushed him if he had known that what I just had seen. My husband kept telling me, it's just a pace. He will grow out of it. But after that day, I knew my son was special. And that it was my job as a mother to love him unconditionally. My son cheated away from all his high school dances. He was afraid. We had to force him to go to his senior prom. He ended taking a girl from his school. That's what my husband told me. And you see, I told you it was just a phase. That's what he told me. The next day I saw Torrance crying in his room. We talked, and that's when he told me he was gay. He cried so much. We both cried together. Torrance told me that he and his prom date, they had sex, but he felt very awkward, dirty about it. After prom night, my husband never spoke on the gay subject again. He thought prom night was a turning point into Torrance's life. My son received a full scholarship at Valencia College for engineering, and my husband adopted the thought out of sight, out of his mind. When Torrance came home to visit, life was good. It was better than it has been in a long time. We all joke around, we laugh. We were happy and joking around. We were happy he was home. Torrance came home in the middle of the sophomore year and told us that he was not going back to school. He shut himself down in his room and refused to talk to anyone, not even us. We tried to talk to him, but he would just lay on the bed in silence. It was like he completely shut down from the outside world. He stopped eating. He stopped talking. It's like he just stopped living. I remember that night, the night that he came down for dinner. By that time, he was spending all his time in his room. So he was surprised when he came out to eat. That's when my husband and I knew that he had something to say. He sat at the table kitchen for a long time. And then finally he said some words to us. He said, "I have AIDS." I instantly started crying. Who would like to hear that from their child, that they have AIDS? That was all he said before he got up and started walking away from the table all over again. My husband called him. He called him back, and I will never forget those words that he said. "I love you, son. We love you. God will always remain. You are our son, and we can work through anything. We are family, and we will get through this as a family." Those were the words of my husband telling my son. My husband told us all to grab hands, and we prayed all night. After that night things began to get better. We had our rough time, of course, everybody does, like any other family, but we put it through. My son found the strength to go back to college. We started talking daily. He had his bad days, of course, but he was determined to complete school. Graduating meant something to him. Graduating was one of the things that he wanted to accomplish. Graduating meant the world to him. It meant the world to us. Torrance, my son, he lived life to the fullest and graduated with top honors from Valencia College. He moved on to become the top engineer at his job. He lived every day like it was his last. The day that my son died took a large part of all of us. Yeah, my son was gay. Yeah, my son had AIDS. And I'm a proud mother of my son. He was my son. You hear me, people? He was my son. Thank you.
Yeah.